Let's get more on this story now with journalist Krithika Varagur. She's covering this story for us from Jakarta. Hi, Krithika. We're seeing entire families carrying out bomb attacks. Is this a new dimension for Indonesia?
Yeah, it certainly is, particularly with the inclusion of women and children. We have seen that Indonesian jihadi communities pass links through brothers, sons, and fathers, but the inclusion of women and children this time, not once, but twice in a row, is a completely new phenomenon.
We're seeing 5 attacks in 2 days. These attacks were among the deadliest bombings in Indonesia in more than a decade. How have Indonesians been reacting?
I've seen a much more somber mood towards these attacks than in the past. Often after a terrorist attack, Indonesians rally around the cry, "Kami tidak takut," which means we're not afraid. But there's been a backlash to that sentiment this time around, where a lot of Indonesians are saying, actually, we are afraid. The fact that such an enormous scale of suicide attacks on a place of worship has been carried out in a city that's not known for extremism has really frightened um, millions of Indonesians. And the capital of Jakarta has been on the highest security alert since yesterday. It's really looking quite grim.
You mentioned this is not a location known to have seen terrorist attacks in the past. Why was Surabaya targeted?
It's still unclear. As of today morning, the police said that there was no link between the police station bombing this morning and the church attacks yesterday. However, given the unique nature of both of these attacks, the unprecedented use of whole families, including their children, many are suspecting that there is a link. So far, the Islamic State has claimed responsibility for yesterday's attack through its Amaq news agency, but it remains to be seen if there's some kind of sleeper cell in Surabaya, and police are actively investigating that city right now.
Why has the country as a whole become a target for Islamic State militants?
Well, Indonesia is the world's largest Muslim majority country, and actually, its rate of jihadism per capita is extremely low, one of the lowest in the world, given that fact. But, because of the World Wide Web and the nature of Islamic State propaganda, which is completely global and permeates social media, if you're looking for it, it's very easy for a disaffected Muslim in Indonesia to self radicalize, which is how most of the 700 or so Indonesians who have joined the Islamic State decided to go. It's not that the Middle East is actively recruiting here, but because of the internet, many people who go looking for that message can self radicalize.
All right, journalist Krithika Varagur speaking to us. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.